Hello, I'm Richard Ridge for BroadwayWorld. Beautiful, the Carole King musical, has come to Broadway's Stephen Sondheim Theater. It stars Jessie Mueller as the legendary singer-songwriter, and I'm here on opening night to celebrate with the company. How do you feel tonight?
I'm full of adrenaline and completely excited.
You know, everything you do is so different. What was it like working on this show? Yeah, I mean, it's funny when you look at your sets. I mean, some people sort of design the same way. You don't. You always start from scratch and take us on this magical ride. What was it like working on Beautiful?
Well, you know, every piece I do, I try to find some hook, some way into the story that lets it take on a life of its own. And for me on this one, it's that line that Carole King has really early on where she describes 1650 Broadway, and she says, it's like a factory, but they make songs. And the minute I read that, I was like, okay, how do I design that? That's the world of this play, a factory where they make songs. And so that's what I tried to design.
Tell me what it's been like working on this show and making this show dance.
You know, it was actually filled with a lot of surprises because I worked with singers mainly, and I had to get them to work together as an ensemble and as a team, and also to kind of reinvestigate an era that people have a memory of, a collective memory of, that actually isn't the true period. So trying to kind of give it a sense of the true period, but also heighten it, romanticize it, and kind of glorify it for Broadway. So yeah, it was a wonderful challenge. So it was very exciting, actually.
It's your Broadway debut as director. How do you feel?
I feel very excited and thrilled. It's something that I've obviously always wanted to do, and it's a dream come true for me. But it was very heartening to get to watch the show tonight and see our amazing cast, and to just see the product of so many little decisions by all of our collaborators, the designers, the crew, the cast, and to just see what a team effort it was to get to this place, and to remember all of the decisions along the way that got us there.
When you first got involved in this, it's a big show.
It's a big show.
Yeah,
it's a big musical. We have a 12-person ensemble. We have 6 principals, and the great thing about the show, I think, is that the ensemble, although there are many of them, they all get a chance to have a step-out moment. And our ensemble, every single one of them could be a principal in another show. And they each have a chance to shine, and they each have a chance to front a number, because in Act 1, a lot of the numbers are the drifters and the Shirelles, and getting to see these ensemble members step out and be stars.
Okay, tell me what you love about Carole King.
Well, I love her music is so infectious and truthful, and she has there's something that is so honest inherently about everything that she does, and I think that's embodied with an unbelievable amount of style and panache by Jessie Mueller, who is just extraordinary. She's a gift to any director, and she comes in every day with 3 or 4 decisions for every moment, equally truthful, and just says, "Hey, which one do you want?" She's such a team player, and she always has the best of the story and the show at heart in everything that she does, and her talent is just astounding.
Seeing yourselves portrayed up there by those 2 beautiful actors. I mean, I saw you at the meet and greet, and I watched the smiles on your face. What that's like, seeing your light flash in front of you that way.
It's fantastic. Just them as actors, they're great actors, and they got such a magic for each other. It's just unbelievable to me.
They are so lovable that we fall in love with ourselves.
All over over again.
All over again. Yeah.
And just talk about what this all means to me. The four of you remain friends. I mean, all through all of this, you were sort of like competitors when you first started out, but you became best friends early on and looked out for each other.
We were best friends even when we were competitive with them.
Yes.
We really were, yeah.
Always, and still are, and Carol is still very, very dear to us. She's an amazing person.
And let's just talk about the music itself. I mean, it lives on generation after generation. I mean, my niece is 7 years old. We listened to your stuff all during Christmas while we were, wrapping presents. What does that mean to you, that your music lives on year after year, generation after generation? What is it?
Well, to me, it's surprising. I never dreamed. One of the reasons that we were kind of so experimental and never feared trying anything was because I never thought any of it would live. So it's a shock.
There's also, back then, there were many more record labels, many more recording artists who didn't write their own songs. So we had more of a places of an outlet for our songs.
Yeah.
So here we are. It's opening night. I spoke to you on the red carpet beforehand. What was tonight like for you?
It's very emotional. I don't know if I told you this before, but for the last 24 hours, every 8 or 9 minutes, I burst into tears. Because you just, you can't, I grew up in West Texas. I was in the community theater. We thought of New York in this like another planet. And so to be here and to work for such a great group, with songwriters I grew up listening to and loving, and then having this fresh new talent who play the songwriters who are so extraordinary, it's, what can I say? It's just a kind of heart-stopping thrill.
Another opening night on Broadway. How do you feel?
I'm so thrilled. It was very hard not to cry the whole night. I'm so honored and thrilled to be here in this play.
It's great. This must have been quite a journey for you working on this, playing her mom. What kind of research was there out there on Carol's mom?
Well, a lot, because I Googled her and I spoke to Sherry about her, and I also spoke to Carol about her briefly, and I really got the sense of who she is. And Doug, the writer, talked to people about who she was, and he infused a lot of his knowledge in the lines and in the situations he wrote for me. So I feel very close to her. I wish she was here.
And let's just talk about her music, how her music influenced you, Carole King, growing up, and what it means to you now.
Well, growing up, it was a Bible to me. And what I think is beautiful about her music is she is so filled with love and poetry. When you relate to her music, you feel like you are too. So she made me feel better, like a better person, a more literate person, a more loving person.
Most of your scenes are with Jessie Mueller. What's it like working with her?
It's everything. I've never loved being on stage with anyone more. She's immediate, organic, loving, focused. She throws the ball, she grabs the ball. She never lets you down. She is the real thing.
What has it been like working on this man, on this role?
It's been an honor. I grew up with this music, and Jerry Goffin, from the first time I read the script, he's a really complicated person and brilliant, and wrote the most brilliant songs, and it was just such a thrill to be able to play the guy and dive into who he was, and to be part of it all.
So much of it, of course, is written in Doug McGrath's beautiful script. Was there other research you did?
Most of the research came from talking to Doug, who spent a lot of time with all of the songwriters, and he really wanted us to understand who these people were. And at the same time, people don't know what Jerry Goffin sounds like necessarily. They know his music, and so we were encouraged not to mimic these people and to bring ourselves to the work. And as an actor, I'm so excited. I mean, I don't have the right words. I'm so excited for all this.
What is it like playing Don Kirshner? Talk about that.
I watched Don Kirshner growing up on TV, as did many of us, because I was a teenage insomniac. And you had to be, because he was on in the wee hours of the morning, and he had this great show called Don Kirshner's Rock Concert. And many of our rock and roll icons were on that show, on television for the first time on that show. The Stones and Kiss and the Police and people like that. So I admired him for years for that. He was always kind of there were times when he was sent up because he was a little wooden on camera. So to investigate the guy behind that guy was really a lot of fun. And it turns out there's a great story to tell about him in the 60s that we really don't know about. The Monkees and Carole King and all these people that he was responsible for producing. He was called the man with the golden ear by Time magazine, and it stuck because it was true. He knew what he was doing.
And working with this company of actors.
What a good group. Paul Blake and our producer has really assembled a fantastic crew of people. We all discovered one another slowly over readings and workshops and things, and now we've been working together for 5 months, and it's always nice to go out of town because we become a family.
You know, I know every show that people work on are special, and you've done a lot of those shows, but what's made this so special? Is it the creative team? Is it the cast?
It is a charmed group of people from the top down. It's so many people's sort of first times being in charge. Our director, Mark Bruni, first time in charge. Paul Blake has been has been producing forever, but it's his first time with our other producer, Mike Bosner. It's their first time on Broadway, taking the bull by the horns. Douglas McGrath, first time writer. I mean, all these people. Jessie, it's her first lead of a show. This is my first originating of a role. There's so many firsts, and all these people who are making their Broadway debuts in the cast, and so we're all sort of doing this together in this almost naive kind of, is this always the way it works sort of a way, and it's a very special thing. And not to mention, we get to perform this music night after night that people connect with on such a deep level that it's almost hard to understand until people like Bernadette Peters come backstage and talk to you about how affected they are, and you can see it in their eyes. I mean, they're almost in tears. Carol just cuts to the heart. Her music cuts to the heart. And for some of us who are a little younger, who grew up listening to it, sure, but weren't there when it came out, and it's such an honor to be able to perform these songs and give these people something, a little taste of 1971, of 1968, or whatever song, whatever moment meant so much to them. That's what makes this show so special.
Out of this whole incredible catalog of songs of Carole King's, what's your favorite? Is there a favorite?
Yeah, Beautiful is my favorite because I didn't know it before, and because it's the anthem for our show and really should be your anthem for life. You got to get up every morning with a smile on your face, show the world the love in your heart, because you're beautiful as you feel. If we all really truly knew and believed that, the world would be a happier place.
Okay, so when you were taking your bow tonight on Broadway in front of that star-studded audience, what went through your mind?
I started to cry because, I don't know, this may be too long a story, but I started to cry because I had a brush with death during our rehearsals. I had stomach pains that landed me in the ER day 4, and they ended up having to take out 8 inches of my colon and told me it was going to be 8 weeks to recover, and I thought, oh, I've lost this show, this amazing part, I've lost it. And then I thought, no, I'm going to fight for this part, and 6 days after my surgery with a belly full of staples, I was back in rehearsal, and this group of people allowed me to heal on the job. And so what was going through my mind in bows and why I started to weep was, I can't believe I actually got here, because there were so many obstacles to getting here, and so to be there was like, just so much more of a big deal and such a joy, and something I was so grateful for that I might not have been quite so grateful for if I hadn't had that crazy sort of tragic.
Wow. But her songs are so spiritual and inspirational. That must have helped also.
Yeah. There's something about Carole King's vibe that sort of pervades the show, and I think is one of the reasons why everyone involved is so lovely. I think it attracts good people who want to do good work, and the Sondheim Theater is such a happy place to be. I've never experienced how much we all look forward to going to work every day, and I think that has a lot to do with Carole King's essence.
So congratulations. It's opening night now. How do you feel?
It's opening night. We're open. I feel fantastic. We were so ready to be open. You know what I mean? And it's just the energy tonight was incredible. Just incredible.
We spoke at the meet and greet. What has this whole journey been like, creating this wonderful woman?
I get a little verklempt. It sounds so cheesy, but I feel like Jessie, have actually learned a lot from her, and just and now I see her as such a model, as someone to follow, as just sort of a map of how to possibly navigate this sort of business, and with grace and poise, and she continues to be someone that I look up to now. So,
you know, you capture the essence, but you also become her. Was she easy to find?
Parts of her, I think, I just feel like there are certain parts that I do relate to about her, and then there were other parts that were harder to find. I mean, some technical things. It's like, I've never been married, I've never had children, so those kinds of things that as an actor that you have to do your work to try to figure out what that would mean to you or how. But I think there's some things essentially about her that are easy for me to slip into, and that's one of the reasons I love doing the role. And it's also fun every night to slip into someone that is that positive, has that kind of outlook on life. It's a good thing as a human being to try to take on every once in a while. You know what I mean?
And working with this company.
Oh my gosh, this cast is incredible. Every single person on that stage, you can check in with them at any moment, and we're all there for each other, and we've all been through this process, and we made this thing together. And Douglas McGrath, our book writer, was so collaborative, and gave us such beautiful stuff, and listened to us if we had a good idea, and you know what I mean, like graciously told us if it wasn't happening. You know what I mean? And Mark Bruni has led this company with such love. It's really incredible, and everybody, Jason Howland, from our designers, everybody, our crew. I couldn't wish for a better group to come to work with every day. I really couldn't.
And the audience's reaction. Audiences are loving this show from the second it starts. What is that like for you?
Well, you know what? The audience reaction to this has been so interesting because, you know what I mean? They come in loving this music. A lot of people know this music and love this music, and it's a very freeing thing for us, I think, because we know that what we have to do is honor the music and honor the people and get out of our own way, and audiences are ready to love it. So that's what we have to do, and it's a joy to do it every night. It's a joy to sing this music. I don't think I'd ever get tired of it.